All right, welcome to the Let It Fly show. I am Michael Severe, joined by three-time state champion Central, the Eagles, and of course, also with the Creighton Bluejays, Josh Jones. What's up, man?
Appreciate it, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right. You know, we're live inside the podcast studio here at Let It Fly, which is, of course, is in the Capital District, an elevated sports bar experience.
For sure. Elite.
It's elite.
Yeah, it is.
I like elite. That's
Definitely.
a good thing about it.
Everywhere you look, it's a TV.
So you have all the TVs, you got all the food, and then you have the atmosphere.
Yep.
When you're in here at night, there's a game going, coming down to the end, and you're like, you look around and everybody's on one TV, or everybody's leaning in.
Right.
And that's the sports bar atmosphere that you want, and that's what you get here.
For sure. So. Yeah, I mean, I think the greatest thing I appreciate is just, like, the vibes, man. I mean, the amenities are cool. You know, you got all the TVs and the beautiful lighting and seatings and things, but, like, the people who come in here, man, they make it to the next level.
Oh, yeah. And then they get the food, which we do this to start every show. We kind of look at the menu, pick something off the menu. You want to go first? You want something?
Yeah,
You got
I
something?
do, man.
What you got?
See, on this menu, man,
it's
almost like even I can look up and down for something else, but I always go back to the 12 lemon pepper wings.
Lemon pepper. That's the king right there.
Man.
King loves him some lemon pepper.
Man. And
big fan.
Yeah, bro. I blame Rick Ross. You know, once he put that out there, man, it was we already, you know, as black people, been eating lemon pepper.
Yeah.
But man, it went to a new level when he started pumping it.
See, I like lemon pepper. I like to mix it. I mix it with teriyaki.
Oh, word!
I mix those two together and I eat that way.
With teriyaki.
I like teriyaki. Why. The lemon pepper gives you that zest to the teriyaki and kind of cuts it. I do the same thing with the hot garlic.
Yeah, maybe
I mix the two together.
If it's in front of my face, I'll try it.
You try it. For me,
lemon pepper wings.
I'm going to the brunch menu.
Okay.
Which is fairly new. Right? You come here on the weekend, open at 10.
Yep.
During the week, it opens up at 11. You can get some brunch items. I'm going with the barbecue pork Benedict.
All right.
I'm a big eggs Benedict person, right?
Yeah.
So with this one, you get poached eggs.
Mm-hmm.
You get house smoked pork. You get biscuits. Got a holiday sauce topped with home fries.
Man.
That's all I need.
You can't lose.
What else?
Here.
It's $16 and it's a big plate of food.
Yeah.
It's perfect for you. You get one of those great drinks they have, mimosas or whatever else in the morning for brunches. So
man, I'm
brunch is
to
great.
Order some wings right now.
Yeah, you got to hold on for a minute. We got a podcast to do. Quick couple things before we get to our guest. A great guest. We're gonna have the greatest player in Creighton basketball history, Doug McDermott.
One of the greatest scorers in college history.
You can say legitimately, and I know things move because guys keep scoring, but top 5 scorer in the history of college basketball.
Yep.
That's what he was. And you don't find guys being 3-time All-Americans.
No, not
that
at all.
list is like Jabbar.
Yep.
And there's like a handful of people.
I think he's top 10 greatest college players ever.
I don't doubt that a bit.
To be honest.
With his career. The only thing missing from his career was the advancement in the tournament.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. A lot of those other guys had advancement in the tournament. That was the only thing that was missing for him. But other things going on. July 26th is Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis.
Yep.
Obviously, Nebraska will be there. They're day 2.
I can't wait, man.
It's going to be fun, and it's going to be great because all of the Big Ten media is going to have a chance to learn what we learn. That Matt Rhule is a heck of a speaker in public, and I know they're going to enjoy that. They got Ethan Piper going, offensive lineman, kind of a surprise to some people, but he's a veteran, and I hate saying this, but I can say it. He's well-spoken.
Yeah.
I mean, when Ethan Piper talks, you're like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. So it's good they're bringing him. You bring a quarterback, obviously. You want to bring your quarterback. Jeff Sims is going as well. And then Luke Reimer has been the leading tackler for Nebraska the last 2 years. So he's going as well. He'll be there. Some of the big stars. Ohio State receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., the best receiver in college football. Might have been the best last year.
Right.
But couldn't come out yet. Blake Corum coming off that injury from Michigan. Little baby Tungavailoa.
Yep.
He'll be there. And Wisconsin running back Braylon Allen as well. Those are all some of the biggest ones. And the new commissioner will speak in front of the media as well.
Yeah.
The new Big Ten commissioner.
It's like once that happened, man, it's winning time.
Once the Big Ten Media Days is over, you got like less than a month.
Exactly.
You got less than a month for the season to start, which is going to be awesome. And, of course, Nebraska starts early on a Thursday.
Yep.
So ahead
of
time.
With a hard game.
Going to Minnesota. Going to Minnesota. Before we get to our guest again, a couple of notes about the Huskers. We got another 4-star.
Yeah, okay.
Preston Taumoa. He was the number 1 player in Hawaii. Big offensive lineman. This gives him now, according to On3, 4 stars. So they're continuing to build this 2024 class up. This was a surprise. Not a lot of people thought they were going to get Taumoa. But it's a good pickup.
But that's what Matt Rhule does.
Yeah.
He rebuilds programs. If you look at his track record at all the colleges he was at,
sure,
he has took them from a low spot in the rankings
very low,
to a very high spot.
Definitely.
So I'm excited for what he's going to do.
You know, the Raiolas are from Hawaii, so that was a big get for the offensive line and the offensive line
Somebody
coach as well.
tell Dylan, man.
We
asked about him.
He missing out.
He
missing out. So that gives you Tal Moore.
Yeah.
That gives you Carter Nelson.
Yep.
Out of Ainsworth. Roger Gradney. He's out of Texas.
Yep.
And then Mario Buford, whose big brother plays here, of course, out of Soto, Texas. That's your four stars on 3. So they're having a heck of a thing.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think despite of winning or losing the first game, I think the way that Coach Rule approaches practice, from what I understand and how he spoke to people about everybody getting reps, having that old school mentality, bringing everybody back around,
right?
I think it's something to look forward to.
I'm looking forward to the season, no doubt about that. But now I'm looking forward to our next guest when we come back here on Let It Fly Show, Dougie McBuckets. All right, welcome back to the Let It Fly Show. We're joined by a very special guest now. Of course, he was a college All-American, the greatest player besides Josh Jones in Creighton history. Doug McDermott joining us here, of course, the NBA star as well. Doug, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. It's great being back in Omaha, being around Jonesy, just seeing a lot of old friends, family. It's just always good to be back in the Creighton community and the Omaha community.
Yeah, what's July and August like for an NBA player?
Yeah, we finished up a little early this year because we didn't make the playoffs. So I had a lot of time to kind of decompress, do some traveling, and now I just got back from Vegas to watch the Spurs Summer League team and, Wembanyama and the circus around him. So pretty crazy out there, but it's good to be back here and just get back in the gym.
Hey, well, let me fix this. How many years have you been in the league now?
This will be 10.
10.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your welcome to the NBA moment?
Oh, man.
Like Wemby.
Was it in a game or was it in practice?
I think it was that dunk.
Oh, that dunk was pretty. That's pretty
brutal,
brutal, yeah.
Then again, that's the Summer League.
Right.
But like for you, what was that welcome to the NBA moment?
Yeah, I didn't really take too much stock in like the Summer League. I was just trying to get better. I knew that it wasn't all NBA players out there. There's a lot of overseas players, not to disrespect anyone, but I'd say my first NBA moment was rookie year. We were up in Canada for a preseason game in Winnipeg, and we were playing the Timberwolves, and KG was still on the Timberwolves, and he wasn't playing. He was at the end of the bench, and he was just talking to me the whole game, just talking shit to me, like, "You're not ready. You're not built for this." And it's like, dang, man, I looked up to you when I was a kid, And I still do. He's one of my favorite players of all time. But I was like, okay, this is the NBA. This is a different animal.
So tell me, after the game, he dapped you up and was like,
no. I played with Joakim Noah, who they didn't get along either, so he wasn't talking to any of us.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Before you ask another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got any Kobe Bryant stories?
Yeah, I do. I got a chance to play against him for 2 years, like his final 2 years, and it was really cool. It was his last game at the United Center when I was on the Bulls, and the whole crowd was crazy, because it's Kobe's last game in Chicago, and he was his tour, and he was actually guarding me. And I had Pau Gasol on our team, so it was cool to play with him and have Kobe on the other side. And Kobe was guarding me, and he called the entire play that was about to be ran. It was to get me a shot, and we ran this elevator screen. You remember that?
Sure. Yeah.
College. Hoiberg ran it for me, and Kobe's like, "All right, we got an elevator screen. He's about to get through there," and Pau actually hit him the screen.
On the screen.
Yeah, on the screen, and I was able to get a shot off. And
nice.
he was like, "Damn." But he called the shot before everyone started. That just shows you how intelligent he was as a player.
What's the admiration? For the group of players on the floor, do they feel the same aura as a fan? It's like, man, it's Kobe.
Oh yeah. He had he has that effect like Tiger Woods does for golfers, and MJ, and something that's who everyone looks up to. Everyone's wearing his shoes, and he just. The way he was globally, everyone admired him. So obviously super sad what happened, but his legacy lives on forever.
I was watching a video today. They had won the three-peat. A month later, he goes to the Rucker in New York, and he's balling at the Rucker. And they're doing this commentary as he's taking people off the dribble. I'm like, what are you doing? You're a superstar. You're out there at the park. But that's the kind of dude he was. And his nickname obviously wasn't the Matrix, but he kind of saw stuff slow motion. Did you ever get to that point where you're in a game where you're kind of seeing stuff like he was? Like he's calling out the play before it even happens? That you feel like that?
More so on offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
hey, it's honest, man. It's fine. Yeah. You got to score to win.
Yeah. I felt that at certain times and still kind of do at times, but obviously he had it unlike anyone else ever has. And it's just, I think LeBron has it too. He's so intelligent. And everyone that's played with him has said the same thing. And it's just something I'm sure is real special to be a part of.
Doug McDermott joining us here on the Let It Fly show. Where were you when the lottery was announced, and what was that feeling like when you guys knew you were getting number one?
I was actually in Omaha. I was just with my parents. I was with my mom out at their house, and I just wanted to be kind of chill, not away from people. And I mean, the whole season, it just kind of felt like we were going to get this guy. It just felt like destiny for the Spurs. You know, the way it's happened with David Robinson and Tim Duncan. Just another generational guy. It just kind of felt like we were going to get him. So I was still hyped, when it happened. I got off the couch and I was running around the house yelling. My mom's probably got a video somewhere, but the Spurs deserve it. It's been a tough couple of years rebuilding, and I just think with Pop getting older, I think this is a great way to transition to obviously the end of his career.
Yeah. You played for a few teams. What is it about San Antonio that you love? Like you seem to me like this is the time for you. I mean, the stars align. Like, what is it like being in San Antonio?
It's just the culture, It's just the culture. It's got that, just that feel. Just a dynasty, the dynasty they went through. Kind of like what the Patriots is like in football, and just playing for an all-time great like that is just every day you just like learn something new, and it's crazy. They just take such good care of their players there, and it's all about development. They let you be a pro. I'm not saying other places that don't, but San Antonio has the most feel as an organization, the way they take care of everyone, and I think it's just they make it easy on us. You
mentioned being at the Summer League and seeing Wemby play. What'd you think of his game, watching him in person?
I mean, it's crazy what he can do. I think it's going to take some time. I think people got to be patient. I think today's world, everyone expects things to happen overnight. But he's 19 years old, 18 years old, or whatever he is, and
he's 19 years old and weighs like $112.
Yeah,
give him a chance.
Yeah, I mean he does like
he's thin,
right? He does like 3, 4, 5 things a game that just like you haven't seen before. So it's crazy the upside he has, and the Spurs are a perfect spot for him because, like I said, like they just so good at player development, and he'll only get better.
What type of dude is he? I mean, you were at the Summer League. You had an opportunity to chop it up with your teammate at all?
Yeah. I actually was just in our little training room at the hotel, and it was just him in there on their off day, and I just went up and said, like, just excited to play with you, like, welcome to the team. And, you could just tell he was a little overwhelmed with all the media, and
I bet
just kind of needs a little break, and I think he'll get that because he's been on the front page of ESPN for like 2 months straight. So I think he just needs some time to decompress and just get ready for the season.
You played against a lot of players. Have you ever – it's not really about seeing a player like him. Have you ever seen a player as tall as him with the dynamics of his attributes in your professional career?
No, I mean, I played with Porzingis briefly in New York. His height, 7'2", whatever he is. And, Wemby's even taller, but he's got more, handle to his game. And
he dribbles so low,
He does, yeah.
He gets almost like in a crouch when he dribbles.
You can tell he's really studied, KD and certain guys like that. So I think he's been preparing for this his whole life. Has his own, personal trainer since he's like 14 years old. He's got people living with him.
Yep.
He's like, this is like his life. So
he even learned English, so he'd be better off, and learned it very well. He speaks like the second.
I would have thought he was from America if I didn't know. When I talked to him, he's the way he speaks.
It's awesome.
You think Pop will let him run the center point?
I think so. I think Pop will let him do what he wants. But he's going to coach him hard. I know that. We got another guy on our team from, Jeremy Sohan from Baylor, who also is like 6'8", 6'9", that can handle. So those two together are going to be really special for a long time.
In terms of what, obviously you had a great head coach in college. People always talk about how it's like your dad's playing chess and other people are playing checkers when on inbounds plays.
He wasn't. I mean, he had an extra push because of the father-son dynamics, but his dad didn't coach him like he was his son. I mean,
oh yeah, sure.
He probably coached him harder, but I felt the same way he felt as Matt coached him. I got to put that out there.
What sets Pop apart? Like, I know what sets your dad apart, especially offensively. What sets Pop apart from the other coaches the head coaches you had in the pros?
Yeah, I mean, Pop is it's just more so the stuff like off the court with us. Just the way he he takes basketball serious, but I think he takes the stuff off the court even more serious. We do a lot of team dinners, which is kind of unheard of in the NBA. Like we do a ton of where he rents out the restaurant and he'll be pouring us wine.
He loves his wine,
and he'll yes, he switch us around tables to make sure we're sitting with other guys to get to know each other. Yeah, and then and we'll go to museums on the road. We'll go on like little field trips.
Wow.
Just like when we were in DC, we went to the Holocaust Museum and just like stuff like that he does. And sometimes you just don't know what's coming. You think you have a tough film session, but instead we'll watch like a documentary on something. So it's he keeps you on your toes, and I really enjoy that. It kind of keeps the season fun and entertaining because he just has he's such a feel for like people and personalities, and obviously I think that all translates to the basketball floor too. If you're closer with your teammates and trainers, and it's only going to lead to better things on the floor.
No doubt.
Yeah. So what about like for you to play 10 years in the league? What has sustained you to stay in the NBA?
I mean, just trying to be a good teammate. I think a lot of guys can come in with some ego in the NBA, and there's only a certain amount of all-stars and superstars in the league, and the quicker you adapt to like your role and just knowing like, hey, I might not start, I might not get 20 shots tonight, might only get 3 or 4, but I'm not going to be an asshole about it. I think that is what separates guys having shorter careers and longer careers when you're a role player. And the quicker I found that out, I think I've been able to play longer.
Doug McDermott joined us, of course, former Blue Jay and NBA player for now a decade, as you talked about. I want to go back to San Antonio because it's one of my favorite cities. I miss so much when the Huskers left the Big 12 because we used to go down there at least once a year. Love the board, love the Riverwalk, love all of that. But as a city, it's also tiny, right? Talk about playing in a smaller city, a smaller community, and what that's like as an NBA star in a place like San Antonio.
It's great, man. It's such like a tight-knit community, like you said. So many just very passionate fans, and the Spurs are all they have for pro teams. We have a soccer team, but we're the show in town, kind of like Creighton is here in Nebraska football. People take it so serious, and that's the coolest part about living there is wherever you go, people are showing you love.
Nice.
Regardless if you had a bad game, they just love their Spurs. And now with Austin being close, it's always been close, but just like how much it's grown in between the cities, it's kind of like one big city feel, and you can always sneak out to Austin if you want to.
Yeah, we were down there for a Big 12 media days once, and Rodman was playing for San Antonio at the time, and he literally walked in with another dude. That was it. Came into this bar. We were at the Howlin' Wolf, the dual and piano bar place, and he comes in, he sits down, and he just drinks, and it was nothing. Nobody came and messed with him, and I thought that's weird, but that just seems like the chill that San Antonio is.
Yeah, they definitely leave you alone, and they respect your time and respect you. Exactly.
That's
yeah,
nice.
Like Timmy D and Manu and Tony Parker, they all still live in town, and like you see them come to the facility,
nice.
At least once a week. Manu's there every day with us, and it's just like a really family feel. No, I think he used to. I missed that, but I think they're gonna have him work with Wemby.
That's what they said. Yeah.
So yeah. I wanna watch those just so I can learn some stuff.
So what's your role like with the team moving forward now? What do you consider your role as a specialist being on the Spurs?
Well, I just think with these guys that they have, the young guys, I feel like spacing. They need spacing, shooting. So I think I definitely help that. I think I'm one of the better shooters. And I think
you are.
Yeah, and I think just the locker room presence now. We have so many young guys. Just having a guy that's been in the league for 10 years, and we have a few other guys that have been in for a while. But Gorgie Jang just left this past year, but we just traded for Reggie Bullock. We got Devontae Graham. We got some good vets. Zach Collins is a little older, but we got a good mix of guys and just such a good staff. I mean, they do such a good job of keeping like the video coordinators and like the GAs of our team, whatever, not grad assistant, but that role.
Sure.
They keep guys like that have played basketball too, so it's just a good environment.
I want to go back to last year with the way Creighton went on their run, getting to the Elite Eight. I know you weren't in Louisville, but where were you watching the game? Where were you at the end of that game against San Diego State?
Man, I was on the bus on the way to the Boston Garden.
Oh, wow. TD Garden.
I caught pretty much the whole game in my room, and then I took the last bus over to the game. We had a day game against Boston, and I stayed on the bus till the game finished. Like I let everyone go in. There's like 2 minutes left. I'm like, all right, I need to lock in.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there, and right before the play happened, I think one of our security guards came. He's like, "You ready to come in?" And I felt like he jinxed it. I was like, because then the whistle happened, and I was like, damn, everything was going so well. But it's not his fault. But I'll never have good memories in that tunnel again. It was just.
The biggest thing about that game is, the call was a foul. You can call it as a foul, but I thought that the whole game was
so physical. Yeah.
And
then you call that.
Yeah,
dude, that was like less than a second. And then they added time back. But have you ever been in that situation where a foul that late decided a game?
No.
At any level of your career?
Never. I've never seen anything like it. And, I mean, neither team really played good enough to win that game. So it was just hard. It was hard to see it finish that way. And, I think I've heard a lot of people talk about it. But when we're playing pickup together, people don't call that, especially on game point.
Exactly.
I don't think people call that on the first play of the game. So it was a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, no, and I don't want Creighton to get to the point where we're leaning on that, no shade.
Yeah.
I'm a J-sker.
No, sure.
But like the old Huskers that won everything. Like the Huskers we are now, we don't want to just live on the glory days.
Sure.
We want to get right back to that moment.
Right. I think they will too. I mean, with everyone they got returning, they're hungry. I've been seeing them working all summer. Man, they're going to be good. Be really
what do you
good.
think of Baylor's game? Because it's funny. Sam Griesel signed with the Celtics recently as kind of like a practice player. Yeah, well, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit because what do you think about Baylor's game translating? Because obviously when he's on, he can really shoot. He has that bully ball. He can drive. He's got good size. What do you think about him in the next level?
I think he's gonna be an NBA player. I think both, all three of those guys, Kalk, Baylor, and Trey. But I really like Baylor as an NBA player after being in it for a while, just because he sees the game so well.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Yeah.
I mean, I compare him to like Joe Ingles.
Yes.
Okay.
Lefty, 6'8".
Yeah.
No, and I mean Joe's a good defender, but I think Baylor's got he's got some shit to him. Like he's tough. He looks really good. I know he's gotten a lot stronger this summer, and I think he's going to have the ball in his hands more, which is going to showcase him even.
A lot of people come up to me and say, "Man, he's taller than what I thought."
Yeah.
And that is what's going to be impressive about him because he got the grit.
And he can shoot it. He can really shoot it. He didn't shoot his best last year, and I mean.
That's because he takes deep threes.
Right, but he's got no fear, and that's what the NBA is. You got to be confident, and he has that for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to win a championship, but after these 10 years, what's left for you to accomplish? What are some of the things? Maybe you came in with goals. What do you want to get done the rest of your career?
I mean, I want to try and stay on the Spurs as long as I can, just because I know they're built especially with what we have now.
Yeah.
It's been a tough 2 years having to kind of rebuild. I just kind of want to see it through, and I got one more year there. We'll see what happens after that, but I love it there. And then obviously someday I would like to win a title.
Sure.
I think I've had a good enough career, made enough money where it's kind of the point where I do want to win one, at some point and be a little more, on TV more and just feel like I'm playing for something. And that the last few years haven't really felt like that. But it worked out because we got Wemby.
Yeah, I know. Talking about the NBA, I'm excited about this new format. In the beginning, it's like
the tournament?
Yeah,
the midseason?
It's not a would you call it it's not a preseason tournament.
No, it's a midseason tournament.
Yep.
How do you think that enhances the game of basketball? From a fan perspective, I'll say first that I kind of felt like the NBA was never. How people didn't want to watch NBA basketball until
Christmas. Yeah, at least
at least Christmas because it got competitive. Do you think this new format will have instant gratification about competitiveness?
I think it'll take a little time. I think it's just so fresh now. I think it will definitely, when you have a game that it's against someone in your team or your pool or whatever.
Yep.
I think those will be bigger games and they'll be showcased a little more. So I think that's going to be good for the fans and us. Because sometimes you're on game 42 or whatever, you're kind of tired and you're just like, when's All-Star break? But now it's we got something to play for more in the regular season, and I think it's going to be great for the game. More time in Vegas.
Nah, nothing wrong with that. I want you to think back to your time at Creighton, and I know it's going to be hard to think about, but do you ever remember a moment where you passed the ball to Josh and he gave it back?
Transition.
Did he ever give it back?
Maybe transition, yeah.
Oh, okay. But like if he was around the 3-point line and you threw it to him, did he ever say, "Oh, let me give it back to you"?
I knew it was an assist, so I was good.
It was a bucket.
Good. It was a bucket. I didn't get many assists, so when I threw it to Josh, I wanted him to shoot because I knew it was. I knew
there
it was
you go.
cash.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Black hole. Just like ain't coming back. Ain't coming back.
I would say black hole. I would more say I can't even find the phrase.
We called you guys a clicker when I was in high school. It's a long time ago.
Jamal Crawford. You're Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford, yeah. No shot's a bad shot for Jamal
exactly.
Crawford, yeah.
I still remember a moment we were playing against Northwestern at home, and it was time to score, and it was almost like if I missed and they scored, they go up with like 30 seconds left, man. I looked at Mac and shot it.
You were looking at him as you shot it.
It wasn't because I didn't get shots, because I played my role, like he said.
Yeah, sure.
I worked on my game so much, like I had the ultimate confidence.
That's my shot. Yeah.
Maybe if he'd take my confidence, he'd play for the Spurs 10 more years.
Facts.
No, I did give him up though.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So just not too far from here, a couple of blocks from here actually, 4 or 5 blocks, there's a sports bar, kind of a sports bar, but they sell hamburgers, and they make a Doug McDermott burger, and it's got peanut butter on it. Is that that's something you like? Is that why they created that burger?
They hit me with it a while ago, my senior year, and I was just bored with my roommate, and we are like, let's think of something super creative that no one's done. So we were looking online, and I was like, let's just throw this out there, you know. And I liked it; it was good. I've never had it before, really. I just wanted to do something creative, and I went in there and had it, and I was like, this is actually pretty good.
It's popular,
and now it's still on the menu.
It's still on the menu.
It must be good. So.
The Doug McDermott peanut butter. I think he had to change it up a little bit though, because they got theirs, but we have a different one.
Exactly.
I think they should go get all of go find all of the former Creighton players and have them kind of name a burger, and if not always on the menu, but just rotate them.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool.
If the NBA had a golf tournament, who would win?
Well, Steph Curry. He just went this weekend. He is so good.
I feel like I could finish top 10. Top.
What's your handicap?
I'm like a 3.
Oh, that's it.
We played a ton in the bubble. We played a lot of golf, and so I saw all those guys play, and everyone's saying Steph was the best, but I played with J.R. Smith and
who went to college for it?
Garrett Temple. Yeah. So
I wondered if he took that serious.
J.R. Smith's a really good player.
Yeah, he's playing in college.
He didn't hit a driver either. He hit all 3 wood off the tee and still drove it past me by like 10 yards, and I think the first hole we played together was a par 5, and he just had an eagle like it was nothing. No big deal. So
that's awesome.
He can play.
I always wondered that.
Yeah.
So Steph, do you think he's good enough to start a professional golf career after basketball?
I mean, those guys are so good.
Yeah,
that's like
special.
saying, I don't know, who's the best celebrity that plays basketball.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just a different.
Oh, what's the rapper? What's the dude that's in the White Man Can't Jump movie? What's his name? I can't remember his name. But he's supposed to be really good. But if he played against, these guys.
Right.
Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
Jack Harlow couldn't hoop, but he can't hoop.
When you say White Man Can't Jump,
Not Woody Harrelson. The new one. They made a new one.
I think Steph could maybe potentially try and get in some events and maybe some senior tour or what's it called, the web.com.
Yep.
I think he has actually, but I think he would tell you the same thing, that those guys they're on a different level.
Yeah.
All those PGA guys, they're on a different level.
Tony Romo was really good.
Yeah.
And he tried to qualify for something, and he couldn't do it, and he was really good.
Yeah.
So
that's good to know for me, because I just like to go to Top Golf.
Yeah. I wouldn't count Steph out though. Just those special athletes, they have something different deep down, and if they work on stuff, they can accomplish that.
Every time he's been counted out, he's proved them wrong. So
yeah.
What do you think about the trades that's going on? You got Dame wanting to go somewhere. You got Jordan Poole leaving. How do you think that how does that add value to the NBA and winning the East versus the West?
Yeah, it's just been crazy the last few summers. Obviously I think it started way back when LeBron made his decision. You've seen a lot more stars moving, and I think it's great for the league though, because it just it gives some more in the summertime when no one's really talking about basketball or like anything, it's like it brings headlines.
Definitely.
And I think it's great for the league and, obviously like the jersey sales, the ticket sales. But it is crazy, man. I mean, I know Dame's been there for 10, 11 years. I think he just reached his point where he wants to move on. They got Scoot now, who's going to be really, really good. And I don't know. I like it for the league. I mean, I've been on a lot of teams, so it's nice to see other people move too.
Last thing for me, we watched. I moved here in 2002, and Creighton was just moving over from the Civic over to then. I believe it was the Quest Center was the first one. No,
Quest
it was Quest was the first one. So they were moving over there, and you've seen the growth. What's your thoughts on the way the city of Omaha has really adopted Creighton University in the basketball program and the baseball and all the other programs as well?
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing it for a long time, even before we got here or anyone got. I mean, when it was the Ryan Sears, Dana Altman, Civic days, they've been doing it for a really long time because my dad was the coach at Northern Iowa, and we used to come here to watch, and the Civic would be packed.
Be rocking, yeah.
And it's cool to see the level it's gotten to now in the Big East and selling out every game. It's a special place, and I think you're starting to see that with the success we're having. People want to come play here. It doesn't matter where they're from, what state, what country. It's Omaha, Nebraska, and they still want to come here, and it's just it's a special place.
Yeah, it's hard to leave, man.
Oh, I know. People leave and they come
Still
back.
here, yeah.
We got a teammate, Justin Carter.
Yeah.
When he first came, I did not believe that he would stay in Omaha, but now he's married, got a beautiful family.
Yeah.
Him, Kenny,
It grows on you.
Gregory,
Yeah.
everyone.
Ekinishi still here?
Yeah.
Ekiniki.
Yeah.
That's what Barkley called him.
Yeah. He's playing in Japan, and he comes here in the summer, and he has a house here. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
My last question
Oh, yeah.
is this. Greatest Creighton team of all time. In the modern day era. I mean, obviously, from when we played to, I know Elite Eight is huge on as far as accomplishments, but like team for team, what do you think are the top 4 teams?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to swallow my pride a little. I mean, I think, I still as a competitor think like my senior year team could beat anyone, but like I think the Maurice Watson years with
the year he got banged up.
Kyrie,
Oh yeah,
JP,
yeah.
Marcus.
If Watson stays healthy,
I think
that's
that
a run.
team is.
Me too.
I mean, you can't say anything about these last 2 years. I mean, last year especially.
Right.
I think that those two, I feel like, are neck and neck. And I think any of those teams could beat each other on any given night. It just depends on if the ball's going in. But I always think back on that Maurice Watson injury because I think
big time.
I mean, everyone does, but I think that team was special. They were really, really good. And he reminds me a lot of the K-State point guard last year, Norwell or Noel.
Oh, yeah, hitting all them big shots. Yeah.
I feel like WAP would have probably carried us pretty far, too.
I always say he's not only my favorite, but the best point guard in Creighton history.
I agree.
He's just
wow.
got something different about him.
I agree. I mean, Nemhard was pretty special, too. But, I mean, those Watson years were fun to watch. And but if you're asking my honest question, I think we beat all of them.
So mine is I got the Maurice Watson team. I think number 2 would be your senior year team. I think number 3 would be your junior year team.
Yep.
And I think number 4 would be this Elite Eight team.
Wow. Okay.
I think about who.
Yeah. Is it legitimate? They're gonna have 3 NBA players come off this team. Maybe more.
I
right?
agree. Yeah.
Maybe 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how he thinks. He
I'm just.
because of the NBA. I think of Gregory Antoniki.
Yeah.
Antoniki.
I think of
Antoniki.
matchups, too, sometimes.
Yeah. Sure.
No, let me help you more.
Yeah.
I think about he might have been bumped back a couple, but top 6 ever score in NBA college history right here.
Right. No, I mean,
They keep
he
bumping
carry
me
him.
back.
Yeah. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
Listen, this is what you should do, though. You should get Kevin Garnett's phone number and send him a text and go, 10 years, bitch. And that's it. And don't say nothing else. Don't say nothing else.
He'll say 20.
Well, he said you weren't going to play at all. You obviously beat that up. There's no doubt. Doug, we appreciate it, man. Have a great season.
I appreciate it,
Thanks
Mike.
for coming in. That was awesome.
Josh,
we appreciate it.
Hey, we don't do that. We dap.
There you go. All right, cool. Welcome back to Let It Fly Show. We appreciate Doug McDermott being on the show. Your old teammate. He was good.
Yeah.
Gave us a nice
He's
interview.
a seasoned vet, bro.
And he's in the perfect spot. He's in one of my favorite cities in America, in San Antonio.
Yeah.
He's got Victor Wembanyama coming in there.
Yeah.
It's going to be an electric year for them.
Exactly.
As I said to you before, I just hope LeBron will get traded. I just hope he doesn't get traded because that would suck to be right there when all is a start and you get traded. So
no doubt.
We've been doing our Mount Rushmore, recent Rushmores for Nebraska
for
football.
modern day Huskers.
Yeah, since
by
1998
position.
by position. We're calling it the recent Rushmores, and we're doing running backs today.
Ooh.
And remember how when we were talking about quarterback, you had that one spot that was locked in?
All right, got it.
Well, you have 3 spots locked in this time.
All
you only have, in my opinion, you only have 1 extra spot. Right? So I'm assuming you're going to say Amir Abdullah.
Yes, third.
Okay, so if you put Rex Burkhead ahead of Amir Abdullah, you smoking something. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't you blaspheme in this room.
Right,
I like Rex.
No.
Rex is a great guy.
Respect.
Amir was the,
let's hear it.
I'll give you the comparison. I'll give you the comparisons. Over a 4-year career.
Yep.
Okay, Amir Abdullah, over 4,500 yards.
Yep.
And another 690 yards receiving.
Yep.
First team All Big Ten in 2013. Second team twice. And he only trails 1 other player in Husker history.
See, when you read that,
for yards,
it
and that's
sounds like
Mike
I'm hating
Rozier.
when you read that.
Mike Rozier had 4780.
Yeah.
Now, Amir left here with 4588.
And we know Rozier is the greatest ever. So,
well, LP.
Yeah, Lawrence Phillips is
It's kind of hard. I mean, LP obviously didn't have the length of career that Rozier had.
Okay.
but
all right, let's get back to this modern day.
I think
he's locked in.
Amir's a lock.
I respect that.
Yeah, and
I apologize respectfully. Let me point to all these cameras.
It's like, you do not do that in this house. So
all right, let's go.
So you want to go at Rex next?
I do.
Okay, so I actually have Roy Hello Jr., who is one of my favorites. 3,400 yards rushing.
Yep.
Another 500 yards receiving.
Yep.
A total of 28 touchdowns in his career. 5th on the all-time rushing list. He's got the single-game rushing record for Nebraska. 307 yards.
Yep.
Every minute he was going to the house against Missouri in that game.
Now,
Hold on. Nebraska offensive MVP, 09 and 10.
Yep.
Okay, that's his resume. Here's Rex Burkhead.
There you go.
Rex Burkhead rushed for fewer yards, 33-29 to 34-04. Receiving-wise, Rex was 507 yards, so 7 more yards than Roy. That's it. 7 more yards than Roy. He's got 2 more touchdowns than Roy. He's the 6th leading rusher, whereas Roy's the 5th leading rusher.
Right.
He's 8th in all-time touchdowns.
Right.
He was first team All Big Ten in 2011, just like Roy was a first teamer.
Yep.
And he does hold the school record for the most carries in a game.
Now.
That game against Michigan State, where he went for, that was against Iowa, 38.
Right.
38 carries in a game.
Now watch this.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I say Rex.
Why are you going Rex?
It's something called an eye test.
Okay.
And just like people got Kobe Bryant back in the all-time greatest players of all time, I seen him.
I've seen all 3. I saw all 3 of them.
And so that's what I'm saying. I think Rex had something about him that just had a little bit more dog. Maybe it was his style.
You're in the street, okay?
Oh,
and
man.
you're picking players. You're picking players. You're like, who you got first? And your running back spot.
You really
got
can't lose with
Roy
those
Hello Jr. standing there, and you got Rex Burkhead. For one game scenario, I'm taking Roy. He was more explosive. He was the
Rex.
home run guy.
Yeah.
I'm taking Roy Hello Jr.
All right,
That's good. And then, so now we got 3.
So we got 3.
So here's
the order don't matter because it's Mount Rushmore.
No, it's Mount Rushmore. It doesn't matter left to right to left, middle to out.
There you go.
So here are your other guys you have a choice to pick from. So you got Pork Chop, Corey Ross.
Yep.
Okay.
Corey Ross.
Corey Ross is 13th on the all-time rushing list, right? Had 2 years where he just carried the whole offense by himself.
He did.
In 04 and 05.
He did.
Right? I mentioned how good he was. He also had, on top of that, he was second team All Big 12 in 05. Then you have Marlon Lucky, kid from California. Rushed for 2393, but receiving yards 1379. He's 6th all-time in yards from scrimmage. In the history of the program, he's number 6 in terms of yards from scrimmage.
Now, I'm gonna roll with Lucky.
Oh, we got more. I got 2 more.
No,
I got 2 more. Corey Ross, Marlon Lucky, Dan Alexander, because we're talking 98 on.
No,
okay?
right.
So Dan Alexander,
Lucky,
rushed for 2,400 yards, didn't catch first team All Big Ten.
That's cool.
In 2000, and was the Alamo MVP in 2000 as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then one more, and it's RIP because he just passed away. Darren Dietrich.
Yeah.
Rushed for 2445. He was first team All Big 12 in 01. He was second team All Big 12 in 2000, and he was a leading rusher in the whole Big 12 his senior year. So you have Darren Dietrich, kid from Canada, R.I.P., Dan Alexander, big, tough fullback, Marlon Lucky, and Corey Ross for that last spot since 1998.
All right. So Amir Abdullah.
Yep.
Roy Helu.
Okay.
Rex Burkhead.
Yes.
Marlon Lucky.
Really?
That's my 4 right there. What's your 4?
Marlon's so tough because he came through in a time where people he was a 5-star, right?
Yes.
So he had the expectations of him being this certain player.
Yeah.
And even though he had a great career, this dude in 1 year caught more than 70 balls as a running back.
Man.
For his career, he had 135 catches.
Yeah. I know.
That's as many catches as most of the wide receivers in the history of the program.
I know, yeah.
But he didn't live up to what I think people thought he could be. Yeah. So he doesn't get remembered like you say you have him remembered.
Right.
I have an affinity for Corey Ross. Mm-hmm. He's one of my favorite players to ever cover while I was covering Nebraska. I have an affinity for him.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you at Marlon. I think I would go Marlon. Also, here's another thing about Marlon. It wasn't like he was catching dump-off passes.
No,
he averaged 10.2 yards a catch.
I know.
So he averaged a first down every catch.
I know.
Which is different than a lot of times when the guys are catching a lot of balls out of the backfield.
Right.
8th all-time receptions.
Yep.
Think about that as a running back. 8th all-time receptions.
Exactly.
So we'll have.
That's why I said, man, like those stats are huge with some players, but those eye tests equate sometimes.
Now, see, that's the thing about Marlon. Eye test-wise, Marlon didn't always run like some of the great running backs in Nebraska history. He didn't.
No.
He didn't always find the hold. He always didn't maybe finish a run like he should.
Man.
He wasn't overly, and this is hard to say because he's a football player and he was a good football player. The level of toughness when you compare him to a Dan Alexander or even a Corey Ross.
Some people are just talented.
He's a very talented kid.
Right.
And there's some other guys that have played pretty well. Terrell Newby had a nice career, but I think these are the guys that
Who
you
are
choose
they
from.
again?
I think it's Amir Abdullah, it's Roy Helu Jr., and it's Rex Burkhead, and it's Marlon Lucky since 1998.
Mount Rushmore, modern-day Huskers.
That's our
running
recent
back
Rushmore.
position.
Yeah.
Who are yours? Let us know.
Yeah.
Hit us up. Let us know.
Get in there in the comments and talk who it is. No doubt about that.
It just gets me excited for this year.
I know. Maybe one of these players can knock somebody off.
Especially with
our
the
recent
new coach.
Rushmore.
Coach matters.
You never know.
Coach matters,
Yep.
man.
Maybe Anthony Grant puts up $2,000 this year.
Man, that'll be crazy.
Let me real quick before we go, I'll never forget being a kid and every day getting the USA Today, because at the top, when Marcus Allen was going for 2,000 yards, this would have been 1982.
Okay.
Or 83, excuse me. And every day I would get the paper and see how many yards he rushed for on Saturday.
Man.
And they had a counter. Now he's at 1,100. Now he's at 1,300, trying to get to 2,000. And it was amazing.
You just gotta feel bad for the people he ran against. It's like, what were y'all trying to tackle him?
He was so good. And as a freshman, he was a fullback ahead of Charles White, who won the Heisman Trophy that year. And then Marcus turned around 3 years later and won the Heisman as well.
That's legendary.
Great. I loved me some USC growing up. We appreciate it as always. We want to thank Doug McDermott for coming in.
Yes.
That was awesome for him.
My boy, my guy.
Our executive producer putting all this together, of course, Phil McClain.
Yep.
The king,
Val
Elvis.
Yeah.
Who loves him some lemon pepper wings, all that as well. And I just want to remind you, Omaha Steaks, always a wonderful gift any time of the year. It could be a Monday.
Yep.
It could be a Tuesday.
Love it.
It could be your birthday. It could be a holiday. It could be any day.
Right.
People love getting a gift of Omaha Steaks. I know that for a fact. Josh, take us away.
Hey, it's Josh Jones here with my man Michael Severe. You know how we do it. It's a Let It Fly show.